All right, guys, I have changed my mind on Chaos Rising, and I know that probably surprises a lot of people, but hear me out. I've kind of noticed a trend where people are trying to invest before everyone else. And here's a good example. So, like last year, you could have bought like 151 booster bundles. This is a random one. You could have bought those bundles for like $85, $90 around like November, December ish. And if you would have bought that at that time, you would have doubled your money when 151 started rotating out. So now everyone's thinking like, okay, well, let's do the same thing for the next things that are rotating out. And now they're looking at Prismatic Evolution, Surging Sparks, the Greninja set, whatever. And Prismatic Evolution is the thing that everyone always compares to when it comes to 151. I'm going to get to my point with Chaos Rising, but hear me out. You can buy booster bundles now for about $90 right now for Prismatic Evolutions. The same booster bundles that you could have bought in like December, November of last year that doubled. People are being more smart and strategic about how they're investing to make money faster. They're trying to get ahead of the curve because they saw what happened last year. They saw what did you need to invest in last year to get the most gains of this year. So they know that the things are rotating out, so they're doing that. If you try to look at everything that's like rotating out next year, you'll start to notice that a lot of that stuff is already pretty high. Like the booster box for Surging Sparks is pretty high. Prismatic Evolution is pretty high, at least compared to like what things were last year, and not counting like the super reprints that Prismatic Evolution had to. But if you just look at all the booster boxes and everything that's rotating out, everything's actually pretty high because people are predicting that as it rotates out, that it's going to go up. I think that's going to catch a lot of people off guard. I think the time to invest in these products is kind of like right now. At least that's how I'm thinking about it. So because of that, I think people are already, did a good like front run on these products. And I think Chaos Rising is the next thing that I'm thinking about that people are sleeping on. And so I think most people think that, their printer facility is going to turn on and then this set's going to get obliterated. If it does, I don't think this is the set that, the Pokemon market is going to really worry about too much. They have got other things to worry about. They've got Destined Rivals. They've got Pokemon Black and White. They've got Ascended Heroes, like actual sets that people really want. And those are good examples too of sets that people have already started front running for those too, because everyone's thinking like, okay, when these sets go out, what's the next sets that are going to go out? They're going to rotate out. So they're looking at Destined Rivals and in Journey Together, all this stuff. And those booster boxes are already really high, right? So people have already thought about this. So like you really have to front run the next thing. And to front run the next thing, you have to invest in the thing that's probably going down right now, which is Chaos Rising. I don't think it's a great set. It is definitely mid to be at best, right? But it does have Greninja. And if you compare it to just base set Mega Evolution and then the Charizard Phantasmal Flames, and if you see what they're doing, I don't see why Chaos Rising couldn't do the same. Yeah, it's not as strong as Charizard, and yeah, strength-wise, as far as like what it has in the box that you can get, it's probably not as good as Mega Evolution. But Greninja is way more popular than the things you can get in Mega Evolution. It's not as popular as Charizard, but it's strong enough to carry on its own. I think at this point, if you keep sleeping on Greninja, like you're just gonna lose out because he keeps doing well because he is way more popular than what I think people want to give him credit for because he's not in the generation that us millennials and Gen Z are used to, right? Another good example too is in the ETB, it has a decent promo. It's not that bad. It's got Fennekin. Fennekin is, a starter Pokemon. And so I don't think it's not the best, but it's also not the worst. It just goes straight into that category as mid, right? For a long-term investment, people who grew up in that generation, I think that's like an X and Y. Actually, it's the same generation that Greninja is from. So like that's even better, right? So the same generation Greninja is from, that's where Fennekin is from. Like as a long-term investment, I don't think this is not going to do well. Like I think it's going to do really well as a long-term investment, especially if you do the exclusive item for this. So if you do like the PC ETB, like I don't see how you can go wrong in the long term. In the short term, I think that if what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up and wear this. I'm going to do cases of the ETBs. I'm going to get probably more booster boxes. I'm just going to do a hyper focus on Chaos Rising because it's the set that's going down that has the most potential. I think Perfect Order is probably going to go up too, but I think that Chaos Rising just has more potential. It has probably slightly more potential for short term, and it definitely has way more potential in the long term. And I don't think that the print facility is going to affect this as much. It could, it's still it's going to be out when that probably gets up and running, but I just don't think that this is the set they're going to try to hurry up and try to catch up on the other more important sets, right? They're not going to worry about the sets that people are no longer thinking about or worrying about, right? At least that's my guess. It's pure speculation, and I understand that it's pure speculation, but that is my guess with that. All right, and then I got some other notes. Oh, here's a big thing too, right? Like this set is going to dry out. It just seems like there's a lot of it right now because it just came out, right? That's the hottest thing right now. And then not only did it just come out right now, the other, the second wave is currently in print, right? Or not in print. The current second wave of this is actually being distributed right now. So like it's hammering the prices and keeping it down even longer, a lot faster, right? Because Perfect Order came out and we haven't got the second wave of that. And I don't think we got the second wave of Ascended Heroes yet. So like Chaos Rising is just getting dumped on really fast. And I think one of the reasons why they're just dumping it up is because they're trying to get rid of it, right? They're trying to get ready for the 30th anniversary. And they're trying to get ready for the Rayquaza set, right? Especially the 30th anniversary. I think for short term, that is another good reason to kind of look at Chaos Rising, at least in my opinion. I want to make sure I stress that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm going to just tell you what I'm going to do because I'm going to go harder on this. It could be a flop, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it on the line and speculate that this is going to do well because I think people are hyper focused on the 30th anniversary and the Rayquaza set so much that they're just hoarding their money and hoping that they're going to get a good entry point on those products. And you may, but it's probably not going to be as good as you would want it to be, right? Your favorite influencer is telling you, hold your money, don't spend anything right now. It's summer slow, keep it so that way you have money for the 30th anniversary and the Rayquaza set when those come out later this year. And while I do think that's a decent and great strategy for long term, I don't think it's probably the best for short term. And the reason why I say that is because your favorite influencer has the ability to get prices cheaper than you. If the 30th anniversary comes out, and let's just say it's like $200. That's the price that everyone's kind of speculating. The ETPs are coming out and they're $200. That might be a good price when it comes out, right? Because that might be the lowest. And you're going to buy some of those. And you're going to feel like you did the smartest thing, especially if you see it go to $220, like, 2 weeks later. And then you're going to get on here. You're going to go on YouTube. And you're going to listen to your favorite influencers tell you, hey, I got it for $150 and $180. And they probably did. Because they have better connections than you. You're gonna get it from the secondary market, and that they're gonna be eventually forced to get things on the secondary market. But they have the ability to get pricing, they probably get prices a lot lower than you, especially on initial release, right? They're already working on that right now. They have a little bit of extra channels that they can go to get these products at a cheaper rate than you. And I'm not saying they're gonna get a lot, but they have way more advantages than you. Okay, and so you're not going to be at the same position. So if a reprint comes, which there probably will be, and it's more than likely, I think everyone expects the 30th anniversary to have reprints immediately. You're not as safe as them, right? They're going to be in at 150 to 180. You're going to be at 200. If it gets to 220, reprints happen. You're going to feel like you didn't make any money for a long time, probably for at least a year. Now, I'm just speculating. I don't really know. I want to make sure I get that point across too. Like I have no clue. It's pure speculation, but I do know the current things that are hyped right now are probably not the things that you should probably be looking at for short term. Now, long term, 30th anniversary is going to be great. I don't think you're going to miss anything if you decide to get in as soon as possible. But for short term, you might be waiting for a while to make money off of it. And by then, the print facility might, come open. Maybe they can meet demand when it happens. And if they can meet demand, the set value of a lot of these things are not going to fly anymore. I don't think it's going to diminish the returns on, older sets that have already came out and gone. But the newest stuff going to have completely diminishing returns, right? And so because of that, I think it might be a better strategy to focus on sets that people are not necessarily thinking about right now. Because if you look at history, and history tends to repeat itself, and if it doesn't, it definitely sure does rhyme. That's like a saying. All the silly sets that were either not good or mid have done really well, especially right before things have rotated out, and especially in this market where people are trying to front load everything before things even get to that point, right? And so I think that you're overthinking it and maybe hyper focused on things that are going to come out in the future because you know they're going to be good sets, and you're going to miss out on some gains. Okay. Other thing. Oh, yeah. You know, these sets, I think one of the other things too is like the Greninja as a card itself, everyone's watching it go down right now, right? And you saw the same thing happen to Charizard, right? Charizard did the exact same thing. It came out, went down, and then it spiked right back up. You could look at most hyped up sets, at least recent value, and you can see like, you know, the card comes out, goes down, and then it just goes back up. We're in a bull market, so everything that you kind of like invest in initially, especially the cards, like it's doing the thing that's supposed to do. And then what happens is people get locked up and they start thinking like, oh, this is like a terrible set. Like I should not invest in this. But if you wait long enough, you see the prices go back up. Name every single set that was either bad, mid, or good, and you'll, especially in modern, like modern day, you'll see that they just, you know, they outshine themselves. Now, after the bull market's over, whether they recover, it's a little different. But currently, in this bull market, you can buy whatever and it's going to go up in price. And so the idea is to make a complete strategy on what you think you can speculate on, because people, like that's all we're doing right now, right? You need to figure out how you can gamble your money to 2x it, 3x it faster than everyone else. And if you copy everyone else, you're not going to 2x and 3x your money as fast as them. You're going to get it at the same rate as them. And if you have the same idea, it is going to be slower because everyone's doing the exact same thing. So you need to, you know, have a strategy that is a little different in the same thing. So that is why I've changed my mind on Chaos Rising, and I'm going to go hard on it. I kept buying these and feeling silly at first because I kept getting good deals on these. I've got 10 of these now. I'm going to do the regular ETBs as a case. My buy-in cost for the PC ETBs is like $155 now. So I'm just going to keep buying these. Anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate you listening to the end of this video. PokeEyeDoc out. And don't forget, go touch grass.